All right, we're recording now. First thing I'm going to do with this flow graph, which is titled NTMS _AM _proto.grc, is I'm going to disable all the transmit blocks, and so that we can just test the receive side. Receive side consists of an RTL SDR, which is located right here on this USB power hub, and then we'll go through the transitions. We have several instrumentation items, and then we end up, there's a volume control with this multiply constant. We end up with the audio sync, which is the speaker of the laptop. So we'll go ahead and get started. And make sure this volume is down a little low so that it doesn't overdrive our presentation. Now, we've got controls like filter, so that will tighten up the filter, as you can see down here in the waterfall display. That's only about 4 kilohertz wide, I think. Yeah, that's about 4 kilohertz. And then we get it up here, it's about close to 10. We'll leave it right there. We have, like I said, a volume control. Transition width on the filter is not too effective. And then the frequency for the receiver. We'll have to tune this to find, to zero in on our signal, because, as I said before, without sharing clocks, they're never going to be exactly the same. Now, I have a little device here that is it's a signal generator. I have several of these back when I had a project where I had to have several different frequencies input. And as soon as I plug it in, you should be able to see this. There is a big spike here that's only about 5 dB down. Now you hear the drifting of this unreferenced signal generator. It has TCXO in it, but it's not great. So it's down 8 there. These harmonics are down 38, and I noticed that the polarization sensitive. So if I flip this thing 90 degrees, the harmonics go away. So that's kind of an interesting observation, is that they have a place in there where they're, even 80 degrees to the horizon, they just start disappearing. That's kind of an interesting observation. Okay, so now I'll just unplug that, and we'll go back and we'll enable, I don't tip over my camera, we'll enable the transmit blocks, and now we'll have 2 things going on in this flow graph with 2 different radios, in fact. So the audio source here will be a microphone input. It's across the room right now because I'm going to play Carl Sagan off my wife's phone, and I don't want it to be right up here on the computer's microphone. And so that drives through these familiar components that we've talked about in the flow graph, and then eventually out through the hack RF as a transmitter. And then we just tested the receive side. So when we fire this up, we're going to see that carrier. It'll be the first thing that we're going to see. I'll probably have to turn that volume down just a little bit as well. Yeah. See, it's not too bad when you first start, but that AGC block starts to raise it up. So there's our carrier. It's very clear to see that we have a carrier there. And I can go ahead and cue up this video, or it's just a recording of Carl Sagan, and we'll see him modulate our flow graph. Okay, it's out of tune.
Everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization. Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the river ruthless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance.
I'm going to shut the volume
We have
down
some
now
privileged
and turn on the ICOM analog radio, which is also tuned to 432.2 or thereabouts.
in the great enveloping cosmic dark, in our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the
Yeah, it's looking at 50 kilohertz full span on I noticed.
else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate.
That's
Yes.
100 kilohertz. Pretty hard to see the sidebands, but you can see them. So thank you, Mr. Sagan, again for the speech, and that concludes this demonstration.